Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to dive in. I know we've got to rapid fire these calls.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk to
this.
Nikki. Nikki in Pennsylvania. You're live with Eric and V. You're on. Hi.
Hey. Did you ever watch Cosmos with Carl Sagan?
Yes.
Bits and pieces.
Did you ever watch the bit on the Flatlander creature? He can only perceive a third dimension.
Yeah.
He can understand there's the presence of a third dimension, but he can never prove it. That could be like a god on the next step on. We're trapped in 3 dimensions, but there could be a 4th dimension that we can feel its presence, but we can never prove it's there.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. We can never prove it, but the dimension up, they can see us, but we can't perceive them.
Well, so
like Carl Sagan was saying.
Well, here's my argument. Here's my argument there.
That?
And just so that I can make sure that we're talking about the same thing, I'll bring up the that whole thing, right? So as a one-dimensional being, right, you're a point. When you get 2 dimensions, you have lines. But if you're living in a flat world, you could not understand a 3rd dimension. You couldn't understand depth. And if I were to pick that 2-dimensional creature up so that they could see their 2-dimensional world in 3 dimensions, right? And then you plant them back down, they wouldn't have the vocabulary or understanding or ability to describe or explain what they saw, because that's not what they're at. And so the idea of, things that exist in that way, I totally get. Now, even if you were to do that though, right? If you were to have a 3-dimensional object interact in a 2-dimensional world, you would still have something that they could detect. I don't think we have any God detection.
Things in life we can't detect.
Yeah, but that means that you're just
like
the things that you don't know to be God, and that just makes the gods of the gaps.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
I'm saying other things like, we've been searching for extraterrestrial signals for 60 years. We haven't found anything.
So what does that have to do with the God?
And we haven't found any evidence of extraterrestrial structures within the universe. So something's going on. Either we're the only ones, or life gets started and don't last long. I mean, there's evidence on both ways.
Not really. So the time to believe a thing is when there's evidence, and lack of evidence is not evidence. Mm-hmm. Unless lack of evidence is expected.
Okay, then how did we get here? We're here, Something happened.
We're here. What evidence do we have for God?
Well, something happened, I can't say if there's a God for sure or not. I just said I'm on the fence, I'm just saying.
Right. Absolutely. So the question is, Nikki, is if you don't know whether or not a God exists, let me give you a something analogous here. Do you know whether or not leprechauns exist?
Yeah, but we're trapped in the 3-dimensional world.
Well, hold on a second.
4-dimensional leprechauns?
Yeah, hold on a second. Do you?
No, we don't want 4th dimension is because we're trapped in a 3rd dimension. We can't perceive a 4th dimension because we can't perceive. Or we're trapped in 3 dimensions.
Nikki, I'm getting there. You just got to follow me here a little bit. Do you believe in leprechauns?
Leprechauns? I've never seen any. I know you're talking the proof thing, but it's just theoretical,
Well, and so what?
There's a lot. Astronomy is composed of a lot of stuff that they theorize. But, like infinite regression in it, but it can't be proven.
You're just appealing to more and more mysteries. Mysteries aren't answers to other mysteries. It's just more mysteries.
Well, if you look at Carl Sagan's Cosmos, he has a lot of that stuff in there.
And there are a lot of wonderful things about the universe that we should explore. That doesn't mean that we should jump to answers. I'm not saying that you are a God believer. What I am saying is there are a whole lot of things in this world that we don't have evidence for. And the time to accept those things.
True, but I'm not saying.
Hold
very
on.
true, but I'm not saying it's not possible.
Hold on. I'm not either, Nikki. What I'm saying is the time to believe it is when we have evidence. And until we have evidence, I think that when you wake up in the morning, right? When I wake up in the morning, I'm not going to act as if leprechauns exist just in case. I don't know, but just in case I will, right? Because then I'd have to do the same with every other kind of weird
Yeah, there's no
conspiracy.
scientific basis behind that. At least Carl Sagan has it that could be possible. I mean,
in the same way that leprechauns.
yeah, I guess it could be. You can have leprechauns, but
fourth dimensional leprechauns, like we
right,
said.
exactly.
But the time to believe it is when there's evidence for it, and when we see it interacting in our world.
You can never prove it because we're stuck in 3 dimensions.
Well, then it's an unfalsifiable statement, and that's kind of where we have to leave that. If you can't prove or disprove a claim, then why believe in it?
Well, I believe in a lot of stuff Carl Sagan says. He's an interesting person.
Well, I agree that Carl Sagan was interesting. I don't think that Carl Sagan was saying the time to believe a thing is just because it could possibly happen. There are a lot of possibilities that we should explore, and that's wonderful. But the default should be, hey, the time to believe in a thing is when there's evidence for it. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good way.
That,
that's right. Yeah, that's how we approach medicine.
We'll never find out. You know what? We'll never find out. Then.
Not true. Hopefully, I mean, just because
none of us knows why we're here.
But that's an entirely different question. No, Nikki, you just completely deflected. I don't care why we're here. We weren't talking about why we're here. You just appealed to another mystery. Mm-hmm. No, we can talk about that if you want, but don't deflect. We're talking about things that we don't have evidence for, right? We don't have evidence for God right now.
We don't know everything. We hardly know anything.
I agree.
Going on in the universe.
I agree. And when there's evidence,
I understand your viewpoint, but I can understand,
like the germ theory of disease, or any other scientific improvement, or anything. It's wonderful to dream and to hope and to try and to explore and to test those things around us to find out whether or not maybe it was a trick of the mind, or maybe there's something here. Let's find out if it's replicable and go from there. It's an incredible world that we're in, but we got to make sure that we are on the same page at the start, and that same page is the time to believe a thing is when there's evidence for it. And I think
I know you gotta watch. I watched Matt, and I watched the other show for years, and I know he always goes back to that. But it's hard. I have never seen anything spiritual, but I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, because.
Well, that's the thing. I think
something happened. We're here,
Right, something happened.
I'd like to know too.
That. We're not saying we know what happened. We're not saying that we know what didn't happen necessarily. We aren't making a positive claim one way or the other. We're not saying spiritual things cannot possibly exist ever. So things do happen, and we don't understand why sometimes. And that's kind of we're on the same page with that. Hey, this is an unfalsifiable claim. We don't know. And that's kind of where we leave it. We don't know because we haven't been given evidence one way or the other.
And I do want to
say one more thing.
Sure. And actually, can I give you something else to respond to as well?
Yeah, that host you guys had on the Atheist Experience, she said Proxima Centauri. It's like she got everything wrong in astronomy. It's Proxima Centauri is 4.24 light years away from Earth, and everybody.
Nikki?
I mean, if she gets on there, she got to make a better representative on the subject.
That's a different show, Nikki.
That's a different show.
I know, but
yeah. So what I will say, oh my gosh, I just did a Jamie. Okay.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm glad. What I wanted to tell you is I'm looking at the live chat. And in the live chat, I do see a lot of people saying, hey, Nikki's really trying here. And I've got to agree. I think that you are approaching this in an honest and open way, and I commend you for it.
Yeah.
I think that the tool that you're using right now is one that should be looked at, because a lot of the responses that you gave were appealing to a mystery with a bigger mystery. And that's not how you answer things.
Yeah,
That's
there's
not
a
how
lot
you
of
want to-
mystery.
Agreed.
It's like
And they're not
why are
mysteries aren't
galaxies
answers to other mysteries.
expanding?
We can sit and we
Ask
can
me
spout
that.
off a whole bunch of mysteries all day, but they're not answers to other mysteries.
Yeah,
They're
no,
not even necessarily connected to each other.
So you don't know.
that's true, but
Yeah, you don't know is not.
I'm
a
just
good
saying there's a
response.
lot of stuff we don't know about.
We agree. We agree. Anyway, thank you for calling in. We
All right.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day then.
You
You
too.
too.
Be safe. Happy
Bye-bye.
Zombie Jesus Day.
Okay.
All
right.
All right. So far, we've gotten a couple calls that when we boil it down, we agree.
Yeah.